Okay, well, I thought I'd just do a quick little update on the state of the pickup truck. As you can see, I've got the dash apart. I just put back in the top part there last night, but I've been doing a lot of wiring. I installed a little sub fuse box here for a few auxiliary things, and wired up some new switches and a gauge and what have you. Also, finally got around to packing up the wires and hooked up the backlighting. Let me turn the truck on here. You can kind of see. When I originally installed my VDO gauges, in my haste, I didn't the backlighting, and I discovered on a couple trips down at night, having backlighting is really handy. So finally got around to the harnesses for that, and hooked up the signal cable for the outside temperature gauge as well. So happy to have that all done. Also, you can see two little switches here. This one is the power to my driving lights that I'm installing soon. And then this one is an emergency override and power indicator for the electric fan. Also, I was doing some research and I bought this little guy off eBay. Had to rebuild the switch a little bit, but what this is a clutch start cancel, which I had seen over the years, but I never really understood what it did. Basically, when you push that, it allows you to start the truck without having to have the clutch pedal in. There's a couple of videos, maybe I'll put a link to one of them, but the purpose of that isn't so much that you can start, you know, for when you just need to start the truck without having the pedal down. It's so you can actually start the truck using a method where it's in gear as you start, which when you're off-roading, it prevents rolling back. So in rare cases, that could be something useful. The other thing you might have noticed is last night I built a little adapter to run my crankcase suction gauge here on the dash. I'm using some stainless steel 4mm bolts or little Torx screws that I had handy. I may change those to black, I'm not sure. But what that does is that allows me to monitor the crankcase vacuum levels for the PCV stuff. And if you have seen any of my other videos, you know that I was having problems with getting the preventing the PCV positive crankcase ventilation system from sucking too much oil in. I think I have that dialed in where I want it. I'm still monitoring it with the oil catch can, and if you look closely, I'm getting ready to mount the catch can here to these little coupling nuts, which I replaced the little titanium 12-point nuts on this side to create a bracket mounting point. So I'm going to build a little bracket and secure my catch can. But things have been working pretty well as far as oil and vacuum levels go in the crankcase. I don't want to. I'll make another video once I have some hard data as far as how many, how many milliliters of oil are going into the catch can and what have you. But if you saw my last couple of videos, you saw I messed around with the baffle system. None of that really made a heck of a lot of difference. I think the issue I'm dealing with might relate to the fact that I had to modify my oil pan. When I purchased the truck, the previous owner had inadvertently put a motor from a 4x4 into my two-wheel drive truck here before I bought it. And the oil pan is a different shape. One of the first things I did when I bought the truck was I had to take the oil pan off and put a notch in it to help clear the steering linkage. I think I inadvertently caused the level of the oil to increase in the oil pan. I'm still doing some testing to figure out if that's the case. I don't know if I'm going to install another oil pan, but I have a suspicion that my modifications to the oil pan caused the level of the oil to go up just enough so that the bottom stroke of the crankcase, the crankshaft weights is churning up the oil and creating a mist in the engine. Because I noticed that when the oil level is down, I don't have much oil in the catch can, but if I top it off on the dipstick, suddenly I see a ton of oil showing up in the catch can. And I think it relates to maybe, like I say, the counterweights on the crankshaft hitting the oil. So I'm going to look into that a little bit more. For now, I'm just running the level of the oil in the pan down slightly, at a slightly lower level. Like I say, I don't know if that's correlated or not, but I'm going to continue to do some testing, and in a future video I'll report back. But that's where things stand on the truck. I'm getting ready to build the front push bar and install my LED driving lights now that I have those switches in the dash there, and kind of get the truck back on the road. But for anyone who was curious where things stand, that's the latest, and I should have some more video coming with regard to the oil consumption stuff. So please stay tuned for that. All right, thanks for watching.